I would be so happy. The station drifted in quiet light above a blue planet. It was a place of metal halls and cold rules. Many species lived there, but power did not belong to all. Humans worked the lowest jobs. They fixed wires, cleaned vents, and carried heavy crates. Most aliens saw them as small and slow. Evan was one of those humans. Evan lived in a narrow room near the service decks. The walls hummed softly at night. He woke before the shift bell every day. He washed his face with cold water and pulled on his work suit. It was gray and thin. It smelled of oil. Evan did not complain. Complaints changed nothing here. He worked as a systems helper. That meant he followed others and handed them tools. He listened and learned, even when no one spoke to him. Evan liked machines. Machines made sense. People did not. That day began like all others. He checked power lines in a long hall with glass walls. Outside, stars moved slowly. A group of alien officers passed him. They were tall and pale, with long fingers and bright eyes. They did not look at him. Later, Evan ate alone. He sat on a crate and drank warm nutrient paste. He watched workers move. Some were human, some were not. Above them all, the station felt calm. Then the alarm sounded. It was not the normal work alarm. This sound was sharp and loud. Red lights flashed across the ceiling. Doors slammed shut. The floor shook. Evan stood fast. Training told him to stay put, but fear pushed his feet forward. He ran toward the service lift. Others ran too. Screams echoed. A loud crash rang from the upper decks. The station tilted. Evan lost his balance. He fell backward onto a bench near the lift doors. At that moment, something fell onto him. It was not debris. A soft weight hit his chest and lap. Evan gasped. 2 hands pressed hard against his shoulders. Warm breath brushed his face. He smelled clean air and strange flowers. An alien maid lay on him. She was small for her kind. Her skin shimmered pale blue. Her uniform was torn. Her eyes were wide and dark. For one long second, they stared at each other. Her hands did not move away. Instead, they slid across his chest and pressed flat against his skin through the thin suit. Her fingers trembled, then pressed again, slow and firm. Evan froze. His heart pounded. This was not panic. She leaned close. Her lips brushed his ear. Her voice was low and broken. Do not move. Do not speak. Before Evan could answer, heavy boots hit the floor nearby. Shadows crossed the hall. Alien guards rushed past the lift. Their weapons glowed red. One stopped and looked around. Evan held his breath. The maid lay still on him. Her head rested on his shoulder. Her hands stayed where they were, as if she belonged there. The guards snorted and moved on. The moment they were gone, the maid pulled back. She sat upright on Evan's lap. Her eyes searched his face. "You are human," she said. "Yes," Evan whispered. "Good." She pushed something small and flat against his chest. It slipped through the open collar of his suit and touched his skin. A cold pulse ran through him. He gasped. "Hide this," she said. "Trust no one." "What is it?" Evan asked. Before she could answer, another blast shook the station. The lights flickered. She lost balance and fell to the floor. Her eyes rolled back. She went still. Evan stared. Fear gripped him. He shook her shoulder. "Hey, wake up!" She did not move. The alarm changed tone. A calm voice spoke through the walls. "Emergency under control." All workers returned to stations. Guards returned. Evan stood fast. He lifted the maid with effort and dragged her behind the bench. He stepped back just as the guards reached the lift. They scanned the area. One pointed at Evan. "Human returned to duty." Evan nodded and walked away. His legs shook. His chest burned where the object touched his skin. He reached his room and locked the door. His hands trembled as he opened his suit. The object rested against his chest like a thin coin of dark glass. Lines of light moved inside it. As his fingers touched it, warmth spread through his body. His mind felt clear. Too clear. He heard the hum of the station louder than before. Pulled his hand back. "What did she give me?" he whispered. A knock struck the door. Evan jumped. "Open for scan." He hid the object under his bed and opened the door. 2 guards stood there. Their eyes glowed as they scanned his body. "Clear," one said. They left. Evan collapsed onto his bed. His heart raced. Images filled his mind. Lights. Stars. Voices speaking in patterns he almost understood. Minutes passed. Or hours. He did not know. Another knock came. Softer this time. Evan hesitated, then opened the door. The maid stood there. She looked weak but alive. Her uniform was different now, covered by a dark cloak. Her eyes locked onto his. You kept it, she said. Yes. Good. Then we are both in danger. She stepped inside and closed the door. The station hummed around them, calm once more. But nothing was calm anymore. Outside, unseen by Evan, a system alert flashed across security screens. Human worker Evan flagged for observation. The test had begun. Evan watched the alien Maid, her pale blue skin still glowing faintly in the dim light. She moved carefully, almost like she did not want to touch anything. Her name was Lyra, she whispered, her voice soft and urgent. She sat across from him on the small bed, her knees drawn up. Her hands trembled as she held the thin cloak around her. You have the data core, she said. It is dangerous. They want it. Evan touched his chest where the object had pressed against his skin. He felt a pulse there, subtle and strange. Warmth flowed through him again, and a tingling ran from his head down to his toes. It was not pain. It was something new, something alive. I do, he said. What is it? I cannot say yet. If they find you with it, they will kill you. Evan nodded. He felt a tight knot in his stomach. He did not know if he could hide it from the station guards or the sensors that watched him even now. We need to leave, Lyra said. Leave? Evan asked. Where? Somewhere safe. Somewhere they cannot track us. She looked at him seriously. They know you exist now. You cannot stay here. Evan swallowed. He did not understand why she trusted him, why she had fallen onto him, or why her hands had pressed so firmly. But he knew one thing. The station was not safe anymore. He stood slowly. His mind felt sharper, his body lighter. He realized he could move quickly, almost faster than normal humans. He had never felt like this before. Lyra noticed. Her eyes widened. You feel it too, she said. Feel what? He asked. Power. Humans were never weak, she said quietly. But most forget it. Most are told they are small, slow, not enough. But the data core awakens what is hidden. Evan pressed his hands together. He did not know what to say. He only knew he felt alive, sharper, faster. We must move now, she said. Guards will return. They always check their rooms. They waited until the footsteps faded. Then Lyra led him to a small service hatch behind the maintenance wall. It opened to a narrow ladder leading to the lower decks. Dust and rust coated the metal. Evan climbed behind her, careful not to make noise. His mind raced. He could hear the station differently now. The hum of engines, the slow creak of the walls, the soft breaths of people far away. Everything was louder and clearer. They reached a vent system. Lyra checked the air and the sensors. No alarms. She gestured for Evan to follow. The passage was tight. He felt the cool metal against his hands and the pulse of the station beneath his feet. They moved in silence. Lyra told him little, only guiding him through paths humans rarely knew. Finally, they reached an abandoned storage room. Crates lay broken, dust covering old supplies. Lyra pulled a small panel from the wall and slipped inside. She gestured for Evan to follow. Inside, the space was dark and quiet. A small table held a few old tools and a faint light flickered above. Evan set the data core down. It pulsed lightly, almost breathing. Lyra kneeled beside it. This is the only way humans can survive, she said. We must protect it until you understand. Evan watched her. He did not understand yet. The pulse from the core ran through him again. It felt like a promise, like something waiting to wake. Suddenly a loud crash came from the hall outside. They froze. The station had its sensors everywhere. Someone had discovered the open vent. Guards shouted, their boots heavy on metal. Lyra whispered, stay calm. Breathe slowly. Trust your instincts. Evan did. He felt the pulse in him steady. His hands did not shake. He could hear the movement of air, the pattern of footsteps, the rhythm of guards speaking orders. The door rattled. A guard shouted, human in storage. He raised his weapon. Lyra grabbed Evan's arm and pulled him behind a stack of crates. He held his breath. He felt stronger, faster, more aware. He realized he could sense the guard's approach even before the sound reached him. The guard passed by. Then another. They were close, but not precise. Evan moved like he had never moved before, sliding behind crates, staying in shadows. When the last guard moved on, Lyra exhaled. That was close, she said. Too close. Evan looked at her. You are different, he said. You're not just a maid. She nodded. I was forced to be a maid. To serve. But I am more than that. I help those who can fight back. I protect those who can awaken. Awaken? He asked. Yes. Humans are not weak. Not really. The core shows it. It gives what was hidden, waiting for the right moment. That moment is now. Evan felt the pulse again. His body felt light, his mind sharp. He realized he could remember things he had never learned. He could calculate patterns in seconds. He could sense the station as if it were part of him. Lyra noticed. "You are ready," she said softly, "but they will try to stop us." She explained that the alien rulers feared humans. They saw them as small but deep inside. Humans could adapt and survive faster than any other species. They had suppressed it for centuries. Now, Evan had a chance to awaken fully. Suddenly, the room shook. Alarms blared in a distant part of the station. Footsteps approached the storage room. "We must move," Lyra said. She handed Evan a small pack with supplies. Took it, feeling the strength in his hands. They climbed a second vent and emerged near the cargo bay. Evan saw Rook for the first time. A silent human pilot, he worked among cargo lifts and ships. He nodded to them but did not speak. Lyra whispered that he was reliable. He could help them escape if needed. They moved carefully across the bay. Alarms echoed through the corridors. Guards searched for them. Lights flickered and robots patrolled. Evan realized he could anticipate every movement. His body moved in rhythm with the alarms, weaving through shadows, staying ahead of detection. He felt almost untouchable. Finally, they reached a small shuttle. It was old and dusty, hidden behind cargo containers. Lyra unlocked it. Inside, controls blinked faintly. Evan touched them, understanding the instruments as if he had flown this shuttle his whole life. Rook nodded and started the engines. The shuttle rose silently, avoiding cameras and sensors. The station's lights grew smaller below them. Evan looked at Lyra. "You saved me," he said. She smiled faintly. "No, we saved each other," she said. As the shuttle drifted into the empty space beyond the station, Evan felt the pulse from the data core again. It was alive, alert, waiting. Lyra leaned back. "We are not safe yet," she said, "but you are beginning to see. Humans are not what they think. Not weak, not slow." Evan closed his eyes. He felt the core's pulse, felt the station fade behind him, and felt something new waking inside him. He did not know what awaited them in the galaxy. He did not know if they would survive, but he knew one thing. He was no longer just a human worker. He was the beginning of something different, and the galaxy would soon notice. The shuttle moved silently through space. Evan felt every vibration, every shift of gravity, and every hum of the engines. The data core's pulse was steady now, like a heartbeat. Lyra sat beside him, calm but alert, watching the stars outside the window. Rook piloted the shuttle without words, his hands moving smoothly over the controls. Evan tried to understand what had happened to him. The core had awakened something inside. He could calculate patterns, anticipate actions, and even sense the shuttle's energy flow. I'd never felt anything like it. He was no longer weak. He was aware. Lyra glanced at him. "You are stronger now. Faster. Your mind works differently. The data core did more than hide from the station. It changed you." "Changed me?" Evan asked. "Yes, you will need it. The aliens who control this region will not ignore humans for long. They will send hunters. They will come for the core and for you." Evan nodded. He looked at Rook, who gave a small nod in return. They were a team now, even if it was unspoken. The shuttle passed near an asteroid field. Lyra studied it, pointing to a path between massive rocks. Evan's senses picked up the path immediately. He could see the gravitational pull, the velocity of each rock, and the safest trajectory. "Follow my lead," Lyra said. Evan closed his eyes for a moment, feeling the flow of space. He directed the shuttle through the rocks, with Lyra guiding his thoughts. The ship moved smoothly. Rook looked at him, surprised. He did not speak, but the look in his eyes said everything. Hours passed in silence. Then a warning beep sounded. A small alien patrol ship appeared on sensors. They had tracked him from the station. Evan felt the pulse in the core increase. He understood it now. It was guiding him, showing him paths and choices. Lyra whispered, "They are fast. We cannot outrun them in a straight chase." Evan nodded. He studied the patrol ship's movements, predicting its turns. He felt the shuttle respond to him before his hands moved. Every action was precise. Rook gave a soft whistle. "How are you doing that?" Evan smiled faintly. "The core helps. It shows patterns. It teaches you to see." The patrol ship fired energy pulses. Lyra and Evan ducked as shields flared. He felt the pulses before they hit, adjusting the shuttle. His heart did not race. The fear was there, but it was calm. The patrol ship tried to cut them off. Evan calculated its path and steered into the asteroid field. Rocks crashed against the hull of the alien ship. The patrol could not follow. Evan's mind raced with every calculation. Lyra looked at him with wide eyes. They whispered, "It is working." They moved farther into the asteroid belt. using rocks and gravity to hide from sensors. The shuttle passed a small, hidden station, almost invisible from space scans. Lyra guided them to a docking port inside. Inside the station, humans and small alien species worked quietly. This was a safe place, a hidden resistance hub. They would not be attacked here. Evan stepped out of the shuttle. His body felt lighter, faster. The humans here stared at him, some with fear, some with awe. They could sense something different about him. Lyra introduced him. This is Evan. He carries the data core. He is awake. The resistance leader, an older human named Garrick, approached. His eyes were sharp. He studied Evan for a long moment. So, the human worker is more than we thought, he said. Evan bowed slightly. I am only learning, he said. Garrick nodded. That is enough for now. We will teach you. The core has been hidden for too long. Humans were not meant to be weak. Not really. Evan followed Lyra and Garrick into the training area. Machines and holographic displays filled the room. Lyra explained the core's history. It was created by an ancient species long gone. They designed humans to adapt, to survive against all odds. But their progress had been suppressed by the alien rulers. Evan felt the pulse in him again. Each beat seemed to teach him more. He could calculate trajectories, anticipate movements, even sense what others felt in the room. Lyra showed him how to focus. Breathe, feel, observe. The core's energy would guide him. Evan practiced moving objects, controlling small machinery, and analyzing data faster than any human should. His mind felt sharp as a blade. Rook watched silently, impressed. Humans are learning, he whispered to Lyra. Not just learning. Evolving, she said. The hours passed quickly. Evan's confidence grew. He could feel patterns everywhere. In machines, in people, even in the flow of air. The core had made him aware of the universe in a new way. Suddenly, an alarm rang through the station. Sensors detected a fleet approaching. The alien rulers had sent reinforcements, Garrick frowned. They have discovered us, he said. Lyra stepped forward. We must prepare. Evan, you will lead some of them. Your senses and the core will guide you. Evan swallowed. He had never led anyone before. But he trusted the core. He trusted Lyra. And he trusted himself. The humans gathered, weapons in hand. Evan felt every heartbeat, every step, every breath. He could sense the approaching fleet, the timing of their movements, even the direction they would attack. Lyra stood beside him. Remember, she said, strength is not only in power. It is in thinking, in planning, in seeing what others cannot. The first ship entered their sector. Evan led the humans, predicting its moves, guiding them to avoid traps, to strike at weak points. The fleet was surprised by their tactics. The humans were not like before. They were fast, precise, and aware. The battle lasted for hours. The humans held the station, repelling attacks with intelligence and strategy. Evan's mind was sharp. Every move was calculated. Every step had purpose. When the fleet finally retreated, the humans cheered. Evan looked at Lyra. Did we win? We survived, she said. And that is the first step. Garrick approached Evan. You have done well. You are the beginning of what humans can be. Not weak, not slow. Evan felt the core pulse strongly in his chest. He understood now. This was only the start. There were more humans to awaken, more battles to fight. But he was ready. Lyra smiled faintly. You are more than a human worker now. You are the spark, and the galaxy will notice. Evan looked out at the stars. He did not know what awaited them, but he felt alive, aware, and ready. The core had awakened him, and now he would awaken others. The hidden station was quiet for the first time since Evan arrived. Humans moved through the corridors, preparing supplies, repairing machines, and watching sensors. Every face showed a mixture of fear and hope. Evan walked beside Lyra, feeling the pulse of the data core. It had grown stronger, more urgent. Something was coming. Lyra stopped by a small window. Outside, the stars moved silently, but in the distance, glimmers of alien ships appeared. The fleet had returned, larger this time. Garrick had already ordered defenses. Humans moved quickly, setting up energy barriers, coordinating with alien allies who had joined the hidden station. Evan felt the surge of power within him. His mind could anticipate movements, his body moved with precision. He had grown since the first battle. Now he would help others awaken, teach them to sense and respond. Lyra touched his arm. It is time, she said. We cannot only defend, we must show humans their strength. Evan nodded. He stepped into the main hall where humans gathered. He spoke clearly, firmly. Listen, he said. "You are not weak. You are not slow. The data core will show you the truth. Focus on it. Feel it. Trust it." He guided each human through exercises, showing them how to sense energy, anticipate movement, and trust instinct. Slowly, they began to respond. Their reactions became sharper, their minds clearer. The difference was small at first, but noticeable. Meanwhile, Rook prepared the shuttles, ready to move people if the fleet attacked. Lyra monitored communications, warning of incoming patrols and relaying signals to allies. Hours passed, and humans trained under Evan's guidance. Their confidence grew. Small actions that once took minutes now happened in seconds. Machines were repaired faster, defenses improved. The station itself felt different, almost alive. Then the attack began. Alien ships dropped from the dark space, fast and precise. The humans moved as one under Evan's guidance. Acid. He anticipated the attacks, directing people to block energy pulses, redirect resources, and protect key points. The fleet fired relentlessly. Shields flared and sparks flew. Alarms rang across the station. Evan moved like a shadow, faster than any human should have been able to move. He guided others instinctively, his mind linked to the core. Lyra fought beside him, her hands swift, disabling traps and sabotaging enemy drones. She was no longer a maid, no longer just a guide. She was a warrior, a protector, and a teacher. The humans began to strike back with intelligence and precision. They avoided the brute force approach of the aliens. Instead, they used patterns, traps, and timing to outsmart the fleet. Each move was coordinated, almost as if guided by Evan in the data core. Rook piloted a shuttle to intercept a group of attackers. His movements were calculated, his mind working alongside Evan's as if they shared the same thought. The small human team blocked the fleet's advance, giving the station more time to respond. Despite their victories, the alien forces adapted quickly. New ships appeared, more advanced, faster, and stronger. Evan felt the pressure, but also the clarity. He could see their patterns before they acted. Every human around him felt the surge too, their instincts sharpening. In the middle of the battle, a sudden alarm rang. One of the shuttles carrying untrained humans had been attacked. Lyra and Evan rushed to coordinate a rescue. Evan calculated the path, anticipating both enemy movements and the shuttle's trajectory. They moved faster than anyone could expect, reaching the shuttle before it was too late. Humans cheered as the shuttle was saved. Lyra smiled at Evan. "You see, they can awaken quickly." The potential was always there. Evan felt the truth of her words. Humans were capable of more than anyone had believed. They could adapt, survive, and fight back. Their strength was not in power alone, but in strategy, instinct, and unity. The battle continued through the night. Alien forces pressed hard, but humans held the station. Every time the fleet tried to attack, Evan anticipated their actions and guided the humans to counter them. The station, once a place of fear, became a symbol of resistance. As dawn approached, the alien fleet withdrew temporarily. Humans surveyed the damage, repaired systems, and tended to the injured. Evan stood with Lyra and Garrick, looking out at the stars. They had survived another attack. But the warning was clear. The aliens would return, stronger, faster, more determined. Evan knew that the awakening of humans could not be hidden. Their power, once fully realized, would challenge the galaxy itself. Lyra placed a hand on Evan's shoulder. "We have shown them the beginning," she said. "The next step is to awaken more humans. Spread the knowledge. Build strength." Evan nodded. He felt the core pulse in agreement. He understood the responsibility he carried. The awakening had only started. In the training rooms, humans continued to practice. Their movements sharper, their minds faster. Evan walked among them, guiding, teaching, and protecting. Each step, each lesson strengthened their resolve. Outside, the stars were calm, but the galaxy was not. The alien rulers had seen the human awakening. They would not stop until they tried to crush it completely. Evan looked at Lyra. "Are we ready for the next battle?" "We must be," she said. "But humans are no longer what they were. The galaxy will notice, whether it wants to or not." Evan felt the pulse in the core again. It was strong, steady, and full of promise. He knew that the path ahead was dangerous. But humans had awakened, and once awakened, they could not be ignored, controlled, or defeated easily. The humans had grown stronger since the last battle. The hidden station was alive with movement. People repaired damaged walls, recalibrated energy shields, and trained in the use of advanced tools. The data core pulsed steadily in Evan's chest. It was more than an object. It was a guide, a teacher, and a source of awakening. Evan moved through the halls, watching humans react with precision. Each one seemed faster, more aware. The core had shown them that humans were never weak, only underestimated. Lyra walked beside him, quiet but alert, her eyes scanning sensors and communications. Rook prepared shuttles for reconnaissance. Reports came in that the alien fleet was regrouping. More ships, faster ships, and weapons capable of overwhelming a single station were approaching. Evan felt the pulse in the core quicken. Danger was near. "We cannot wait," Lyra said. "We must strike first." Evan nodded. He gathered a team of humans and a few trusted allies. They studied the fleet patterns, scanning for weak points. The humans moved as one under Evan's guidance. Every movement, every calculation, every action was coordinated. The first wave of attacks began. Alien drones swept past their station, firing energy pulses. Humans blocked, redirected, and countered with a new strategy. They no longer relied on brute force. They used intelligence, timing, and precision. Evan felt the core guiding him. He anticipated attacks, predicting movements before they happened. Humans responded instantly, adapting to changes in the battlefield. Lyra disabled enemy ships' weapon systems, her hands moving with speed and purpose. She was no longer a maid, no longer just a guide. She had become a warrior and a leader in her own right. Rook piloted a shuttle, intercepting a group of alien ships. Evan directed him remotely, using subtle signals only he could sense. The humans in the shuttle team executed maneuvers that the aliens could not predict. Hours passed. The humans held their ground, even pushing the fleet back in some areas. The hidden station had become a symbol of resistance, showing that humans were not what they had been thought to be. Then a new threat appeared. A massive alien command ship emerged from the dark. It was heavily armored and carried advanced weapons. Its presence caused fear even among the awakened humans. Evan felt the pulse in the core surge. This was the real test. He gathered humans around the command consoles, showing them how to coordinate defenses and counterattacks. Each person moved with precision, their instincts guided by the core and by Evan's direction. The command ship fired beams of energy. Shields flared and the station shook. But humans reacted with intelligence, redirecting energy flows, using traps, and exploiting weaknesses in the ship's design. Evan's mind raced. He predicted attacks and coordinated countermeasures. The humans moved faster than any alien could anticipate. The command ship's attacks were deflected, misdirected, and neutralized. Despite their efforts, the command ship adapted. Sent boarding teams attempting to infiltrate the station. Lyra led a counterattack, disabling the teams with swift and precise strikes. Evan guided humans to block the rest. They moved as one, acting with coordination and intelligence. Rook piloted a shuttle loaded with explosives. Evan calculated the optimal path and timing. The shuttle approached the command ship, avoiding defenses. Rook released the explosives at the perfect moment. The ship shook violently. Alarms blared and the alien officers struggled to maintain control. Lyra looked at Evan. "You are leading them well," she said. "But this is not the end." Evan nodded. "I know. The fleet is still strong. But we are stronger together," humans rallied. Each person felt the pulse of the core, understanding instinctively what to do. Machines were repaired quickly, weapons repositioned, and energy flows optimized. The station responded as if it were alive. The command ship retreated, damaged but not destroyed. The fleet pulled back temporarily, giving the humans a moment to regroup. Evan felt the core's pulse steady again. They had survived another wave, but the threat remained. Garrick approached. "You have done well," he said. "The humans are learning faster than I expected." Evan looked around at the awakened humans. They were no longer the workers, the servants, or the weak ones. They had become aware, capable, and strong. Lyra placed a hand on Evan's shoulder. "The next wave will be harder," she said, "but humans are no longer what they were. We can survive and fight back." Evan felt the pulse of the core again. It was steady, strong, and full of promise. The humans had awakened. They were ready to face the fleet again, to challenge the alien rulers, and to show the galaxy their true strength. The station hummed with movement, preparation, and energy. Humans trained, repaired, and coordinated under Evan's guidance. Lyra and Rook worked alongside them, ensuring everyone was prepared. Outside, the stars remained silent, but the alien fleet was out there, waiting for another chance. Evan looked at Lyra. "Are we ready for what comes next?" "We must be," she said. "The galaxy has not seen humans like this before, and when it does, it will notice." The hidden station was alive with purpose. Every human moved with confidence and speed. Evan walked among them, feeling the pulse of the data core steady in his chest. It had grown stronger than ever. The fleet would soon return, larger and more determined, but The humans were no longer the weak workers of the station. They had awakened. Lyra stood beside him, scanning communications. The alien rulers had sent a massive fleet. Ships moved through space with speed and precision, aiming to crush the station and erase the human threat. But Evan felt ready. He had led them before and would lead them again. Rook piloted the main shuttle, coordinating reconnaissance. Humans moved in squads, setting traps, redirecting energy flows, and preparing weapons. Every movement was precise, every action purposeful. Evan felt the core guiding them all. The fleet arrived. Its ships blocked the stars, a vast wall of metal and light. Alarms rang across the station, but humans were calm. They had trained for this moment. They had learned to trust instincts, to move with intelligence, and to anticipate attacks. Evan directed them. Shields moved, energy pulses redirected, defenses strengthened. Each human acted in harmony, like a single organism with one mind. The fleet fired, but the humans avoided most of the strikes, countering with traps and strategic strikes. Lyra and Evan worked side by side, guiding humans through the battle. Her hands moved fast, disabling drones and sabotaging enemy systems. She no longer was a maid. She was a warrior, a leader and a protector. Rook piloted shuttles to intercept enemy ships. Evan calculated optimal paths and predicted fleet movements. Every action was precise. Humans fought not with brute force, but with intelligence, speed, and awareness. The alien fleet was surprised. They expected weakness, but humans acted with skill and strategy. Every human seemed sharper, faster, and more aware. The data core had awakened not only Evan, but the humans around him. Hours passed. The battle was intense, but humans held the station. They repaired damage quickly, adjusted defenses, and coordinated attacks. Evan felt the pulse in the core guide him, helping him predict the enemy's moves. Then the alien command ship appeared. Its weapons were more advanced, its defenses stronger. It unleashed waves of energy across the station. Humans dodged, redirected, and countered with precise strikes. Evan led them with confidence, moving in rhythm with the pulse of the core. The station shook, but humans fought back. Evan directed them to exploit weaknesses in the command ship's defenses. Lyra and Rook coordinated attacks that disabled weapons and energy flows. Humans moved faster, reacted quicker, and adapted instantly. Evan felt the core's pulse surge. It was time for the final move. He directed shuttles carrying explosives to target key points on the command ship. Timing was critical. Each action had to be perfect. The shuttles moved, guided by Evan's calculations and instincts. Explosions rocked the command ship. Alarms rang, systems failed, and the enemy struggled to maintain control. The humans pressed their advantage, striking with precision and intelligence. The command ship retreated, heavily damaged. The fleet followed, regrouping in the distance. The humans had held the station and proved their strength. Evan felt the core's pulse steady once more. Garrick approached. "You have done it," he said. "The humans are awake. They are no longer weak. They can survive and fight back." Lyra smiled at Evan. "The awakening is complete," she said. "Humans will be seen now, respected and feared if necessary." Evan looked at the stars. He knew the alien fleet would return someday, but humans had changed. They were aware, capable, and strong. The data core had shown the truth. Humans were never weak. They were patient, observant, and ready. Humans repaired the station, trained more, and shared knowledge. Evan walked among them, guiding, teaching, and protecting. The pulse of the core connected with many humans now, awakening instincts, awareness, and intelligence. Outside, the galaxy watched. The alien rulers realized humans were no longer to be underestimated. The galaxy had seen what humans could do when awakened. Evan stood beside Lyra and Rook. "We have shown the beginning," he said. "This is only the start." Lyra nodded. "Humans will continue to awaken," she said. "The galaxy will notice, and they will have to respect it." The stars shone brightly, the hidden station hummed with life, and humans moved with confidence. Evan felt the pulse of the core, steady and strong. They had awakened. They had survived. And the galaxy would never forget the moment humans showed their true strength.